Oh, good heavens. Hello. Hello. Back to what I like doing best, restoration of vintage old stuff and building it. So what are we working on today? Maybe you can guess what it is. Okay, so in 2015, I bought this from the Canon Superstore. I bought I think it was 4 or 5 orelikon cannons. Plus I bought some from New Zealand and from other places, so 11 or 12 or whatever there. Anyway, this fellow has quite an interesting story behind it. It was, when I got it, it was all full of sand. And it was quite a cleanup job I did on it. The whole thing was full of sand. The magazine was, let's see, the other side was all caved in and rotten and fell apart. The end of this barrel had a dent in it, like it was hit by an explosion or something a long time ago. And I, wondering about it, the history on this fellow, because heard rumors that it could have come from Pearl Harbor off a ship. It was in the ocean, being full of sand. I guess it would be. I'm still getting sand out of it. I haven't gotten it all apart yet. I'm doing it very slowly over years. So today I was working on it and I managed to move the rails, trunnion, about 1/16 of an inch. You can see the gap there. Up. I'm going to try and get that on. These rails don't have the cotter in it down here, or the cotter pins. Doesn't matter, I have all kinds of, literally tons of spare parts. So also what I managed to get working and movable is, where are we here? This part here, got this off. Trigger cover, trigger box, trigger cover. Still that is stiff, but this came off. This got this off. Still working on this part. It's been a number of years since I worked on this fellow. I keep watering it with oil, and I tap it gently here and there, and eventually I think I can get it apart. I also have to get it off the mount, and under here we have the retainer piece. This is sort of really stuck on there. Usually come out, and right here we are. But I don't want to damage anything. I'm not hitting it and poking in it and that. I do have this popped here. This is a strange part about this thing. Where are we? Where is this iPad focusing on? Here? Okay. This was welded for some unknown reason. I separated the weld very carefully. Managed to remove the spring box. Spring I got off one time. Cleaned it. Although I have brand new springs, the spring is okay. And on the other side, the other trunnion, if you want to call it that, I got loose. So slowly, when I get in the mood to keep working on it, I get it more loose bits and pieces. I managed to move this piece here gently by tapping it. Now it's down in a down position. I don't know what condition the spring's in for these kind of things. As you can see here, it's not too bad. 20 mm. That's orelikon. Serial number 222. Oh, what is that? 941. General Motors Corporation. Let's shed some more light on that area. So this thing's got quite a history, I am sure. That's some of the sand there, as you can see it, mixed with oil and grease. Interesting metal, very hard, very ordnance steel. You can see where, I guess, rust tried to go through it. Hope it didn't do any damage when hitting it. Just double checking on anything wrecked. There is a way to remove it, take it all apart, and clean it up, and make it look like one of these. This kind of condition. So that's what I've been doing. It's not any history. I wonder if you took some of the sand out of here. There's pockets of it still in here. And get it analyzed, maybe you could determine the location of where it was. A suggestion, an idea. I don't know. But when I received it, of course, it was all covered in sand and everything else. So I started cleaning it off, oiling it, putting it out in the sun to do contraction and expansion stuff. I also managed to move this today up the 16th by banging here with a piece of steel. Nice shape to fit that so it doesn't wreck anything on this thing. Some parts of it look pretty like hasn't been touched by anything. Interesting metal. The new parts, you know, are so cool to handle. It's so precise. It's amazing. Some of the stuff over here. But anyway, yeah, so any ideas? I'd love to put it into a boiling cauldron of oil for hours. Take it out, spray it with cold water, and put it back in boiling oil. Back and forth, just for the fun of it, expansion and contraction and oil squeezing in between these seized parts. These rails are on there tight. I guess they got rust and sand in there. It really made it. So I can move this part. The hand, actually. Where are we here? But it should have a cotter in here and a cotter pin, which I have all that stuff brand new, never used. Like I got shipped to me from the United Kingdom. Oh, it was 800 kilos of armrests and gun sights in it. Plus all these things, there's buckets of them, boxes of them. I always buy at scrap price. And it was scrap price. And barrels, I got a lot of barrels at a reasonable price. And the other orelikons were kind of costly, but oh well, I had a lot of money in those days, years ago. This mount is steel, ordnance steel, forged. The other mounts I got out around the corner are bronze. And also some steel ones. So, all in all, it's very busy. John is very busy. Yeah, I'm very busy. Got all kinds of things I do. So I decided today just to whack and hit the orelikon a little bit. Not damage anything, only to shift around all the sand and rust and whatever that's holding it. And do this stupid video. This was in the back of a pickup truck by U-Ship. And the guy from U-Ship, he was in California. Cops came up behind him, wondering what all this is all about, and blah, blah, blah. So it's a relic, blah, oh, okay. They'll try and cover it up with plastic. So he just covered it up, and then eventually delivered 2 of them to me. Oh yeah, the other one's got its own mount system. Immaculate condition. Looks like it's brand new. But all legal, of course. All this stuff is legal in Canada and the USA and probably other places. Anyway, as I went through the ATF and FLLRF, whatever. That was some years ago. Anyway, enough of that talk. So, yes, I'm a gun collector. I've collected ever since I was a kid. I've owned everything, basically. Still like 50 caliber Browning machine guns and aircraft. I'm still trying to find my 90mm anti-aircraft cannon, by the way. It's up in Canada, hidden away in somebody's garage. Who's going to look at these videos? I don't know. Maybe somebody who wants some history. This is a historical piece. You get to trace down the serial number and find out what ship it was on. Definitely was on a ship that was sunk. Ship that was blown up. From the evidence so far, where else would it be? That's full of sand, blowing off a ship, or the ship sank. And somebody, because the Cannon Superstore people always talked about all the guns and cannons that they were for sale in Pearl Harbor. One of them was 25 grand, was dual-mounted Bofors anti-aircraft guns all ready to be delivered, but I decided between orelikons or the Bofors. Anyway, that's a long story. I'm going on and on and on, so I'm going to shut up for now and clean up here and give this old fellow, another squirt of oil and things. So, catch you guys later.